So live feeds are weird, right? there's nobody watching, but I'm just talking to nobody, to one person now who's watching. So, guys, welcome to. Am I on Red Ranch? Jeez, I've taken my glasses off, so Squinty McSquint. Good man, Doug. How's it going? You're welcome. First and all, that's great. What's the crack? How'd you and Killinger get on? Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have might save that for a Wally's World one instead of Stephen. How's it going? You're welcome. You're welcome to a Red Branch Bushcraft live feed, which is a little bit different from a Wally's World live feed. Yeah. How cool is that? How cool is that? How far does he live away from you? Marlon, how's it going? Wow, guys, everybody's in. Let's get it started. We've 4 people online. That's absolutely brilliant. Let's get it started. So I did have I did have a couple of ideas. Brilliant. That's handy. You can 4 hours would nearly take you the whole way across Ireland. It's a big spin, but well, the roads aren't great here. That's the problem. Roads are crap. So let us talk about gear. Let's talk about gear. We're not talking about rules of engagement are a little bit different from Wally's World because we have younger viewers on Red Branch because it's bushcraft related, and we get people who go to Red Branch come online to watch the live feeds as well and watch the and watch these videos. So we will sort of have to be very, very, very careful about our language and stuff like that. Everybody understand? Yes. Okay. So without further ado, let us talk about outdoor gear. Okay. Whatever you want, guys, whatever you want. Now, I will start it off, and I had a very interesting conversation with a really, really nice man who owns a company, G-rated, general guidance, maybe. Let's go for maybe a bit of a universal, might be better. So I had there is some really cool stuff going to be happening in Red Branch Bushcraft in the next couple of weeks, guys. Maybe in the next 2 months or so, right? So got chatting to this guy who owns a company called Hilltrek. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Stephen. I don't know if you've heard of this. There's probably not a lot of guys from the UK on yet. So nice. A green one. It is still functional. I had an American Army camo one, a woodland camo one, and it was fantastic. One of the poppers did go in it, but it was really, really good. I give it to my auntie, and she actually she sets it up and puts the lens of her camera out the hood and uses it as a hide for taking pictures. So that's another option that you can do with those things. A camo one. Okay. They're seriously good piece of kit. So this company in Scotland make Ventile gear, which is a very fine woven cotton. It's completely waterproof and windproof, and the way it works basically is that it's such a high grade cotton, and it's so finely it's so finely woven that when it gets wet, it actually the individual fibers swell up a little tiny bit and just completely fill every available space so that there's no moisture can get in. Make sense? Yes, makes sense. I see what you mean. Yeah. Is there a rope around the neck, Stephen? That's what I'd be looking at. Maybe put a bit of bungee on it or something instead, so that you can sort of always have it cinched down just a little bit. So that's what I'd be trying. Okay, so you mean Red Branch, my business, or the channel? Yeah, you could tape it. You could try Spinnaker tape, Stephen. Or you could. Do you know what's actually really good is Webtex tape, right? It is Webtex make that sort of low range military gear. Sorry, I wouldn't let you know. Low range military gear. The tape they make camel tape, and they make like desert tan tape and green tape. It is brilliant, really good. So, guys, I took down three trees today. Believe it or not, I was doing a bit of stuff in my brother's garden, but just at Doug's request. Okay, so guys, Red Branch proper. Okay, so Red Branch Bushcraft. Right, here is the thing. Right, so my business, my main business, coming into my main business, full 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for about 6 months of the year. I own and operate a bushcraft school here in South Armagh called Red Branch Bushcraft. Okay, Red Branch Bushcraft. This is a really old t-shirt. Red Branch Bushcraft. Okay, it's called Red Branch Bushcraft because obviously it's a bushcraft school, bushcraft / survival, whatever. And there was a very famous set of warriors, Celtic warriors here called the Red Branch Knights, right? And a lot of their selection process involved doing stuff in the woods, you know. So they were around here in the local mountains, and there's a lot of history and folklore around them. So Red Branch Knights, Red Branch Bushcraft. So about 5 years ago, I decided to take my vast amount of useless knowledge when it comes to outdoor pursuits and teaching kids, and you know, how to coach kids and stuff like that. And I decided to apply it to a bushcraft scenario. So what I discovered from 20 odd years teaching outdoor pursuits was that even though to say it's inclusive, it does put barriers, or it does, in kids' minds, there is barriers involved. Getting into the water can be an issue for some, you know, getting into wetsuits, having to get changed in front of other kids and stuff like that can be issues, and hill walking can be an issue, and heights and stuff like that. So when I got more and more into bushcraft, or back into bushcraft when I came back over to the East Coast, because I had always been doing it all my life, but it didn't have a name until I discovered YouTube. We just called it going camping, you know. So we all had those crap Rambo knives, and you know, and we were all in the scouts and all that stuff, you know. And there's no such thing as bushcraft or learning how to do any of that stuff, you know. Or there's no such thing as like ferro rods or anything like that. Or you're talking 25 years ago, maybe 25, 35, Jesus, 25 odd years ago. So what I decided to do was to, I realized how good for your soul getting out into the woods is, right? Going out, reconnecting with nature, doing all these things, and learning how to, like, you know, lighting fires. And Jesus, it's fun, it's exciting, you know. Kids go in, walk into Red Branch Bushcraft, sit down. I showed them how to light a fire, and in 2 hours they have a fire lit and they are maintaining their own fire, you know. And it's a really cool thing to see, because these kids, they're just catches them in the eyes, you know. They're like, you know, it just sort of brings something out in them that I think is in all of us, this sort of connection with fire, I suppose. And you know, so I would base my activities around fire, shelter, water, fire, shelter, water, and basically from the very basic and you just enhance each session as you go on. So you make it a little bit more difficult. You put in more information. You put a wee bit more emphasis on them doing it as opposed to me doing it for them and showing them exactly how to do it. So that's the way it works. And I can do that in an hour. No problem, Rusty. Good to have you on board. It is, I can teach it, you know, you can ignite the spark in 15 minutes. And I'm talking about igniting the spark inside the child. Obviously, igniting the spark, you can do it in 30 seconds. You know, it's, do you know, Doug, when I went to the States when I was about 13, and I was into the outdoors then, you know, and I went to Virginia. I was outside Washington, D.C. in Virginia, staying with a host family. It was this thing because I live in Northern Ireland, Children of the Troubles, Project Children. And the guy I was staying with was in the Scouts, and I was amazed. I had never seen stuff like that before in my life. I had never seen the way that you guys do it compared to what they do over here. Like we have nothing like you have over there, you know, and that's the truth of it. You know, I think, Doug, there is a lot of it out there. I just think it's sort of definitely not as much as there was. Like the guy I was staying with, I was staying in the States for 10 weeks, and for 2 of those weeks, he went, like, he was the same age as me. He was 13. He went, you know, camping, backpacking, whatever, but you know, for 2 weeks non-stop. So they went walking for 2 weeks. Oh, thanks, Evie. Evie brought me popcorn. I tell you what we do. You say hello to everybody. Bye. I'm only going to eat a little bit of this because they give out to me for eating popcorn. No, they do. Those guys do. So Evie comes. When you come to Red Branch, Evie will be down tomorrow afternoon with all her friends from school. So what I do is I run summer camps. I bring kids in from schools. I run bushcraft clubs. Obviously, it gets more popular and busier as the good weather rolls in. And what happens is that I'm not going to eat these. Sorry. What happens is that when the summer is over, I run and advertise a bushcraft club. Now, the way the bushcraft club works is that you need to have done at least a week of summer camp before you can come onto the club. And these guys get pushed hard. So they are digging holes and building shelters, and they're giving 3-hour scenarios and stuff. And that's a shame. So
I'm getting up your steps.
I have loads of steps today. I have 14,639 steps. Wow. So, you know, and the whole idea is that it's so inclusive, and that when you show a kid how to light a fire, you sort of have them hooked. Grumpy, how's it going? That is, you know, you have them hooked, and it's amazing then, you know, what information to take on board, because, you know, you've shown them this class thing to do. You know, it's just it's so good. And then you show them how to build a shelter, and they call it dens or huts, you know, and you show them how to do it, and you show them how to do it properly, and you show them how to insulate themselves, and how to keep the weather out, and how to cover it over and stuff. And with no ropes, no tools, nothing, just their hands, right? And the sticks.
Needles.
And pine needles.
And baskets.
And what do we use the pine needles for?
Putting it onto the shelter.
And what does it do?
It protects us from the wind and animals.
Wild animals. And what else? It protects us from what does it do in Ireland all the time?
Rain.
Lily's an expert. Lily has been coming to Red Branch for like 3 years. So Lily will come. Lily will come down and. Sorry, my cousin is texting me. Colin, I'm live on YouTube, man. No, I'm okay, Evie. I'm okay. I don't want to be eating when I'm live. So it's just brilliant. Do you know what I mean? So you have kids of all abilities, because there's no massive amounts of. What are you doing? There's no massive amounts of walking. They've seen it. There's no massive amounts of walking. There's no getting in the wetsuits. There's no equipment needed. They just turn up, and everything is there for them. So all you need is an area to do it. That's it. And it doesn't even have to be a forest. I take the stuff into schools and and do it. Marlon says hi. Marlon. You say hi, Marlon. Look.
Hi, Marlon.
That's it there.
Hi, Marlon.
So it's fun. And Evie's at the lower age range. So Evie's, are you 7? Are you 8 or 9?
7.
7. Evie's 7. So I find that a lot of kids are very capable when they're under 7, but it's hit or miss. Some kids that come in and they buy and sell you at 6. Some kids come in at 7 and they're just not interested. They're just like eating pine cones and all. Why are you eating pine cones?
Why are you? The dinosaur eating a cell.
So that's it, and that was the basic business plan. Get kids outside. No, well, actually, the basic business plan, it is a secret business plan to save the world. That's it. So get kids in, show them about the environment, show them how they can light fires by using bits from trees and plants and stuff like that, and show them that they can eat plants that they find in the fields, and show them how to light fires, and show them how to build shelters. And then maybe when they're adults, they will be in a situation where somebody will say, we're going to knock that whole forest down and we're going to put up a load of shops or something. And they go, nah, you're not. Wooly will be in the back of their head going, don't cut down all the trees. Did you fart?
No.
And so job done. If one does it, job done. That's pretty much it.
Dinosaur eating finger.
89 degrees. What's that? What's that Celsius? Like 30 something, is it? It's been 20 odd. We're still having a really warm spell here. And I was doing stuff the other day and it's just like but anywho, listen, you go on downstairs and leave Dad alone with his YouTube, okay, and leave me Dinosaur alone. We haven't given the dinosaur a name yet.
Fern.
We need a name for the dinosaur.
Comment down below if you have a name for the dinosaur.
How'd you say Fern?
Yes.
I like Frank. Does he look like a Frank to you, frankly? I don't know. Right, where you go? Go down and watch that movie.
Bye.
We don't even have a reservation here. That's how bad it is. So go on, where you go? Bye, Evie. So that's the plan. Like, and here, listen, me, I cut a lot of trees. I cut 4 down today. So George the Dino, like Frank. But I do try and plant more trees than I cut down every year. So I'm always pushing my uncle to, why don't you turn that field into a forest there? Not. He's always like, oh, will you quit? Will you quit and leave me alone? So anyway, guys, that is the business plan, and it just seems to be growing year on year. And that's all. Listen, Bruno, I have a load of seedlings out here in pots, and every time I turn around and Bruno has one in his mouth, he's ripped it out of the pot. He's like, this is the greatest day ever. So it's fun, and it's just getting more and more popular, and it's in danger of becoming a job. So what can you do? Do you know, it's funny. I was shooting a video out the backyard today. I was looking at my still hedge cutter, hedge trimmer, whatever you guys call them. And what reminded me to do the video, so 1 year review, And what reminded me to do it was that it's come up. It's a popular video, but I was looking at it, and Bruno's in it, and he's only a wee puppy, the original, you know. So I thought I must get him into it. And I sat down to do the video, and he wouldn't leave me alone. He just kept coming over, like sticking his face in my face with the, you know. So his ass was like this in the camera. I was like, Bruno, just get out of it, get out of it. Okay, so well, what were we talking about? Red Branch. So I run these programs, right? An 8-week program where the kids come in and they get taught for 3 hours a week for 8 weeks, and then they build their own debris shelter, and then they sleep in it overnight as well. And you should see what that program does for kids, you know. So the thing is that I'm going back to my own experience from what I enjoyed doing when I was learning bushcraft. So I've based it around I've based it around that. But there is, of course, fire, shelter, water, you know, the basics, you know. So but you should see those kids when they're finished that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just does so much for them. It's unbelievable, you know. And people come in and they're blown away that, you know, like, oh, I can't understand why more people don't know about this and stuff. And I'm sort of like, that's because it's a secret. I don't tell people, you know. Courses for the kids run. There'll be a week-long course every time there is a school holiday, and so there'll be, how many are we going to have this summer? There was 9 summer camps last year. There's 8 summer camps this year. So and then the weekend courses run, you know, every weekend of the year, as long as the weather's not bad. You know, I'll cancel if the weather's super bad, because when I worked as an outdoor instructor, you know, you went out in all weathers. Well, I worked for the Irish government, so we were sent out. Not yet at the minute, Kyle, but you need to get on to me through Facebook, not here, because I don't even think I have anything in front of me. No, I'm not going to start taking bookings over a live feed. You know, we went out in all weathers, you know, and you're there with kids, and you know that they are having an absolute crappy time because the weather's really bad, you know. And what is the point? Like, what is the point? You're learning nothing if you're miserable. No. James, you're very welcome. Zentezu is one of my long-term bushcraft guys who comes in every Saturday, and I think it's him because they're always doing this. They're always trying to get me to say sauce, say sauce, say sauce, say sauce. They're always trying to get me to do these game things. For some reason, it's hilarious. Could be Stephen. God knows. Hey, God knows. Is it buffering for anybody else? There's nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. But I tell you, there is something I can do about this right now. Is that there's 10 people watching. There's 3 thumbs up. Everybody get those thumbs up. And I'm going to go and I'm going to look at. I would agree, Grumpy. The 4 trees I culled today, I took them out of my brother's garden. So here's what happened. We're gonna scoot back into Wally's world for a second. I had to cut my brother's grass on Wednesday, right? And what happened was the grass had grown up to about this high, about knee high, 1.5 feet, right? And I was trimming it. Big. It took me 5 hours trimming. But I'm talking to the camera like this, right? And you'll see it. It's cutting knee-high grass tips and tricks or something like that. It's going to be called. But when I'm watching it, I start going like this. Or sorry, when I'm talking to the camera. And what I actually noticed was that do you remember the tree that stood back up, right? Well, I'm about 100 yards from that, and up past my brother's house, there's another sycamore. Half of it has come down in the field, and it is massive. It's as big as the last sycamore, and it's only half of it. So the neighbors wanted the tree down, right, in my brother's garden. An ash tree, small ash tree, maybe 4 codependent stems, all roughly about 4 inches in diameter. But I had to top some of them first before I took them down because of wires and all. But I didn't record it, but because I was clearing up today. But I spied that tree, so I went down to talk to the neighbours about taking down the ash tree that was blocking their light. And I says, listen, I'll take that tree down for you, no problem. I'll do it for free. I'll take the wood away, but you have to let me clean up that tree in the in the field behind my brother's house. So woohoo! Huge. I mean, like, score, absolute score. But yeah, so be expecting a lot of videos. And I was running the Frankensaw today. God, it's like it's nitro injected or something. It was so I cut one stem with it, and I had to use the top handle saw for the rest of them because it was too aggressive. It was like, I think I might have hit the rakers the last time I sharpened it. I'm not even sure if I did or not. It just was so aggressive. It just seemed to be revving so high. But that's probably because I haven't ran it in maybe about 2 months. And I was running the 181 all the time before that, so could just be it as well. Anyway, so I would say that you are on to something. Like, there's people like school and people don't. You know, I put up with school because it was good fun, right? I was not interested. I was one of these people where the teachers would have always said, he could do much better. He could do much better. And I'd be like, I could not be bothered. You know, school is not for everybody. And the thing is that school is an experiment. People forget this, right? School is an experiment, right? People were homeschooled for hundreds of years. And school is the experiment, okay? And I think it's a failure. I think they don't teach people the right stuff, okay? Yes, give them a grounding and a certain amount of knowledge, but people should be allowed to explore these things on their own. I would have a lot of issues with the education system, especially in the Republic of Ireland. I've watched kids struggle through that. Sorry, Rusty Knife. I'll get back to you as well. And it's like, you know, some people just don't get that. They just don't. You know, you know, a lot of education, right? When you go through and you move past education and you do a lot of coaching, you do a lot of like coaching stuff, you know, and learning how to coach people and how to teach people in different ways and watching how somebody learns and sort of tailoring what you're doing to the way they learn and stuff like that. It's like basically they teach you about the different types of fundamental learnings, right? And the way they teach you in school is the lowest grade. Okay, so they give you a book and they tell you to learn everything in that book because you're going to be examined on everything in that book. That's it. That is not education. That is reading a script. It's learning a script and being able to regurgitate that script on demand. Okay, so a lot of the times what I will do is I will change things up in a way. So a lot of the groups that come in will get, especially the long-term groups, will get like they've had the brief, they know what to do. So they've been coming for, some of these guys have been coming for 18 months. So they'll walk into the forest, we'll all walk in, we'll sit down, and I'll say, well, this is what I did last week. I said, right, you know, there's a tarp, it's going to start lashing rain, there's 5 pieces of rope, you know, go sort it out, go make yourself a shelter, you know, and let them off. You know, and it works, and kids surprise you to come up with something that you're not expecting. You know, some kids will just wrap it around themselves and lay on the ground, but hey, you know, it's a shelter, it works. So team building tasks, Doug, a lot of it is team building, right? A lot of it is, yeah, read, see, do. That's exactly it. A lot of it is if you think of a buzzword, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's confidence building, teamwork, you know, social development, all these different things. It brings them all together because every task is different. So they're lighting fires on their own, then split into and do them in teams. You don't do to build shelters on their own or to do it as a group, you know. So tell me, Rusty Knife Lover, were you sleeping in a tent or were you digging a snow hole or something like that? You need to sort of elaborate on that. It sounds like it could be a good story. So that is where your gear is going to be super, super important. Jesus. I have never camped out in the snow. I have been in a hut up a very, very high up a mountain that was surrounded in snow, but I wasn't actually in the snow. I was in a little, I'm going to say a hut. It was like the back of a van, precariously perched on the side of a mountain in the Italian Alps. All night I was there and I thought, this thing is just going to blow over, boy. We're just all going to be found, actually not be found. Just disappeared in the mountain. 30 years later, come out of a glacier like this. Frozen, you know, so it's fun. It's fun, that's the thing, guys. And the kids come in and they have nothing, you know. Well, not that they don't have nothing, but you know, you spend your time talking to them about the right gear, and you know, slowly the kids will stop coming in welly boots, gum boots. I think you guys know gum boots are something different. Wellingtons, wellies we call them, and they'll start coming in hiking boots and stuff like that. And you'll see their general clothes start to change. And what they're doing is they're experiencing hardship in the woods, and you know, and I'm saying, well, if you wore a better coat, this wouldn't be such an issue, you know. So, wow, that sounds brilliant. That sounds really, really cool. Where are you from, Knife Lover? Whereabouts in the world? So, and it works, you know. So when I'm doing shelter building, of course, that's the whole point of Red Branch. What is the point of having a survival school if you don't get to fight bears? Bear fight. I am sure. It was. Sorry, Knife Lover. We're just responding. So, Northern California. Oh, okay. I know people in Northern California. Maybe not Northern California. I've been in California. Bear fight. I love Anchorman. But the thing is, right, everybody gets so into it, right? So I used to, the first couple of summer camps that I ran, we used to collect up pine sap and mix it with ash and hair and heat it up over the fire and make pine sap glue, right? And what we would do is, I was in San Francisco for 2 weeks, but we went south then. We didn't go north. But some of our friends that lived in San Francisco, their friends were from is it Napa Valley? Is that where they make the wine? They worked in wineries up there. So we used to make bows. So we'd go and we'd get willow and we'd make bows and they'd make arrows and we'd straighten them on the fire and everything. And we would, I got feathers and we would cut them and glue them with the pine sap glue onto the arrows, right? I wouldn't let them sharpen them now, right? And they were quite effective, I would have to say, for something that we would throw together with like 10 kids. We'd make them from scratch in one day. And what they would do is they would shoot 20 yards quite straight, you know, quite straight, straighter than you would think. But when it would come to start building the shelters, man, those kids go feral, boy, very, very quickly. It's so funny to watch. And I will sit there on a Monday and I will tell them, come Wednesday and Thursday, these are all going to be fighting with each other and it's all going to be over shelters. And they'd be like, no, we're not. We're all cousins and we're best friends. Come Wednesday, bang, you're stealing my sticks, they're my pine needles and all. Oh, so funny. It's so funny. But the reason why I don't make bows and arrows anymore is that week 2, I went for a pee and I came back and there was a standoff in the woods and one group was facing off with another group arrows knocked and drawn, and then they all start shooting arrows at each other over pine needles and pine cones, and the fight over pine cones. And Lily was the ringleader. Lily's my daughter, my oldest one. She's 11 now. She probably would have been about 7 at the time. So I base the camps around fire and shelter because it's simpler that way. Hop on a plane, come to Ireland, Doug. Quarantine? No, there's no quarantine here. We just let everybody in, and that's the way it's always been. And yeah, come on up and be a bit of crack. You can sleep in the woods for the week if you like. So it's good fun. It's good fun, and it's only a little forest. And this is the thing. So I did spend a lot of time thinking that it wasn't fit for purpose because it's only 2 acres. It's actually probably only 1.5 acres of forest, and I just sort of went at one stage with Siobhan was going, just do it down there, just do it. You know, I had the business plan. I was searching for the perfect location to do it. Everything was too restrictive, and I just, you know what? I'm just going to open and see what happens. And the difference in that place is just, it's unbelievable. Like, it's unreal. I must take you through sometime. Take you through what. Okay. I must take you to the neighbouring field, which was planted at the same time and has not been touched. Very, very little has been touched, and you see the difference in it. It's just they can hardly move. You basically have to crawl on the ground to get through the trees because the branches are so low. And that's the way Red Branch was. So when you're looking at those videos of Red Branch bushcraft, you know, so Knife Lover, you were commenting on my winter build videos. So they're actually I've actually re-uploaded them from my other channel, which is called Woolly's World, where I used to just do everything. So bushcraft and chainsaw and firewood and stuff like that. So what I did recently was I split the channels. So Peppy, you're very, very welcome. I split the channels so that YouTube would know better what to do with me, and it's working, guys. I think I have 400 subscribers on this channel, you know. So I would say in whatever February, March, April, May, June, in 4 months. Yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? I think I was probably 2 years on Woolly's World before I got to 400 subscribers. Well, I was very hit or miss, very intermittent at the start. Didn't upload a lot of stuff, but that's the thing. Hey, YouTube's all a learning curve, isn't it? Life is a learning curve, isn't it? Yeah, just when you have it figured out. Yeah, but I enjoy it, right? Yes, of course, there are times when I question my sanity when kids are going bananas or they're fighting or something, but very rarely is there ever any fights or anything like that. But or when I'm 7 weeks into summer camp, working 7 days a week, and I'm like, you're not the only one, Grumpy. You're not the only one. I get it questioned a lot. My wife, my kids, everybody questions it. Guys, do you want to talk about gear, or will we just keep talking telling stories and me explaining my cunning business plan and how it is and how it's working out? It's busy, I have to tell you. It's I'm working 7 days a week. I'm not getting paid 7 days a week, but I'm working 7 days a week. No, it's fun. It's fun. Hey, listen, it's fun, and that is the secret. It needs to be fun. If it's not fun, what do you do? I know not everybody has that luxury, guys, and I'm no, you can't. And why you should listen? You'd be no fun if you were anyway. So over my shoulder here, I have a selection of waterproof jackets and a guitar and some pots and pans and stuff. Yeah, I know. You need to be, hey. You need to be. But so yeah, it's good crack. It's good to see how many people are out there that are interested in this stuff. It really, really is. So I would have thought to myself, well, actually, to tell you the truth, I had no idea. I just sort of started a business and went, let's see what happens. So it's got to the stage now where Red Branch is too small. So I'm sort of half looking for a bigger forest to use. So this is and this is an issue around here because there's nowhere. There's no such thing as private forests. There's it's not like you guys have in the States where somebody has 100 acres of land and 40 of it is covered in trees. That just doesn't happen. This country is agriculture to the last. I mean, like it's unbelievable. Every available inch of land is a field, supporting cows or sheep or something like that. So it's quite depressing. There's certain areas you drive around, there's forests and stuff like that. So but not a lot. But what have you guys been up to? Are any of you guys into the outdoors? I know Rusty Knife Lover, you are. Do you actually love rusty knives, or would you prefer a nice, clean, sleek lines of a Kershaw fixed blade or folder? Oh, who's this coming stamping up the stairs? It's the Hulk. Oh my God, the Hulk is coming up my stairs. I swear to God, guys, the Hulk is coming. Why are your hands so cold?
Because I just washed them.
With what?
Water.
Right, go. Yeah, that's a big part of it. No, don't eat my popcorn. That's all I have. Go on, go away. And I'm saving it for after the live feed. Go downstairs. Go on. Yes. What is my nickname? And I collect knives. You're in a safe place. You missed last week. Or the week before. The week before. It was an hour and 20 minutes of me talking about my knife collection.
No.
Let me see. I'm not going to move too far, and I'm going to see what knife I can get into my hand. That's a hammer.
This.
No, I've already had that one out.
You could use this as a knife. This is what I found.
Lily. That's Lily.
Oh, that's scary. Why do I look so shiny? What the hell?
Why do you look so shiny?
Yeah.
Because your face is covered in green custard.
It's a face mask.
It's not a face mask.
It is.
It's not a face mask.
It
stinks of custard up here. From Holly who?
You smell like
Custard.
Holly Deegan's birthday party. We got masks in Primark. And I didn't use mine, so I used mine now.
Did you? Marlon says hi.
Hello.
And what do you think of it? What do you think of it? This is the Condor. This is the Condor. I did a video on this recently. This is actually my brother's. It was mine, and I give it to my brother because I don't really like them, to tell you the truth. But what I did was, in the doing of the video, in the recording of the video, I actually sort of was going, I think I might like this. So I haven't given it back to him yet. The Bear Slayer. You see, for me, right, yes, I keep a box of knives beside me at all times. This is my guitar book. Now, I know you guys have seen this before. That is my preferred style of knife. But I tell you what's going on with this is that the handle's a little bit too square for me. Yeah, guys, you saw me do the video of this. Not a very popular video. You know, this is the Chris Kane Survival Companion Knife. This is a very functional knife for me. I really enjoy everything about this. But, you know, this swings better. In a zombie apocalypse, you know, both. Yeah, it's a parang. I would call that a parang all day long. It is a mini parang. So this is basically this guy Chris Kane. He's in the UK. I don't know too much about him, but what he did was he designed a survival knife, which is a parang, which is this but bigger. It's exactly the same. So him and a guy called Lofty Wiseman. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Lofty Wiseman. He is like the godfather of bushcraft, right? He wrote a book. He wrote a book called the SAS Survival Handbook. The Bible, it's known as. It's probably a bit dated now. But this is an amazing book. I remember getting my hands on this book when I was younger and being just blown away. This one here was published in 1986. So an absolute, I remember just reading this from back to front, just over and over and over and over again. So it was first printed in 1986. So God knows how many times it's been reprinted now. And definitely there is. So this guy was in the SAS, right, for years. And what he did was he was some sort of survival instructor in the SAS. So he took that knowledge and he wrote that book. Him and Chris Kane designed this knife. Sorry, not this knife. The main version of this knife. I probably could. I do like a rounder handle. Do you know what I mean? You know. Let's go to. You're right, Doug. Let's go to this. You see how this is your classic Coke bottle style handle. This is very round and very comfortable. Very, 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 very comfortable. That's the Spyderco Bushcraft UK. The camera can pick that up. Why did they put the hole in it? Like, I know it's Spyderco's thing, but it's not a bloody folder. Why put the hole in it? Anywho. So I was down at Red Branch last week, and one of the young fellas jumped out of his parangs are my favorite as well. Definitely, you know, I find the parang style just so much more functional over the kukuri or the kukuri, but the kukuri just has that badass feel to it, like, doesn't it? You know, so there is that, and that's important with knives as well. So the Spyderco is a beautiful knife. It is my favorite knife. My favorite knife that I have ever owned. So one of the kids, one of my long-term kids at Red Branch, got out of his dad's car last Saturday and was like, "Willie, look, I got it," and he bought himself one of these. These are this is the Verstlicker Tereva Jari Puko, I think is what it's called, the 110 version. But his was different. It was nearly exactly the same, but it was just a little bit different. It had a logo on it, and the sheath was brown, and I felt like Jari Puko. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And if you've never used one of these, you're not living. These are a fantastic knife. My God, I like Varstaliker sent me this to test, right? And I was going, I don't really need a knife, you know. I was more interested in their clothes, to tell you the truth. I wanted to test their clothes, and they sent me this. Yeah, Skinner draw knife, you know, axe. The Skarma, is that the big one? Yeah, I think the Skarma, and they have a two-handed one as well. Guys, the value in these knives is unbelievable. Like, look at that sheath, the dangler sheath, and everything you get with it. Look at that retention. Very simple, very effective. 4mm thick, you know. And I do prefer the 4mm, I think. You know, from using it and using the 3mm, I prefer the 4mm. Very, very, very good knives. I would definitely recommend those. And he was proud as punch by proud as punch, this young fella with his knife. And I was like, and he had a Mora. So these guys that come in every week, I would be doing knife stuff with them. Not a lot, but we do knife stuff. But they are, you know, we do it all with our parents, and we talk about the knives, and we talk about their use of knives and stuff, you know, and you know, the parents are aware that they bring knives with them into the forest, so it's pretty cool. But an absolutely fantastic knife, and I would recommend it to especially people starting out, because it's bloody indestructible, you know. So a lot of people, oh yeah, the Skinner, a lot of people would say, oh, get a Mora, you know, get a Mora. I would never say get a Mora. I would say get a Hultafors. They're cheaper. This is Doug's favorite. She's a bit stiff. It's a Buck Skinner. That's a nice knife. That is a knife that has not seen a lot of use in a long time. Holds really good edge. Really, really good edge. I nearly took the leg of me one time with this knife. I was doing rope work. I was going down underneath the water. I had a wetsuit on. I was going down underneath the water cutting rope, and I had this on a lanyard on a slip knot like this, so that I wouldn't lose it, right? And what I did was, when I was done, I had it up the sleeve of my wetsuit like this, right? So when I was working as an outdoor instructor, and when I was in a lake, I was coming out of the lake and I found a golf ball and I fired it at one of the boys. And when I fired it, this knife, because I had been working on this knife to get it to open just by flicking my wrist, because there's no mechanism on this. It's just a wrist flick. So it actually shot out of my wetsuit, flicked open, swung down, and cut my wetsuit on the inside of my thigh. Just probably exactly where my femoral artery would be. Never touched my skin, but cut right through the wetsuit, right through it, like just millimeters, absolute millimeters away from cutting my skin. Yeah, cold in the rain, you know, in a lake. Yeah, but Victorinox makes some great gear as well. Some great knives, you know, and fairly cheap as well. I have the Victorinox rescue knife. A guy I know, when I was in the mountain rescue, one of the advanced paramedics had got a load of them somewhere, and he was selling them off. And it's really cool. It's the same as a camper, same size as a camper. It does lock, yeah, it locks, yeah, but it's a liner lock. But it has just, you know, it has seatbelt cutters and window breakers and stuff like that, and I think it actually has a glass saw on it as well. It's really nice, and it glows in the dark. So It actually lives in my pickup. I keep it there all the time, just in case I ever need to break glass or something. Oh, jeez. I know it was so close. It was so close. Now, who recognizes this one? I know you guys have seen these before. My oldest knife. I've had this one. Jeez, I must have had this knife 20 years. Can you just make that out? Camillus. I don't even know if Camillus still make knives, do they? Camillus, New York, USA. Crazy stuff, eh? Crazy stuff. Guys, so the thing is that I'm constantly testing gear. You too, Rusty. Take it easy. Thanks for dropping in. And thanks for subscribing, man. And keep those comments coming on the videos. Super important to me that, you know, anything you want to see, anything you think maybe I could do a little bit better or anything like that, you know, just let me know and we'll figure it out. Guys, I'm testing so much gear at the minute and looking forward to getting more gear in for testing, you know, so feel free, if you would like to see me test something, let me know and I'll see if I can get my hands on it. I am testing this Barsteliker stuff. This Barsteliker. Where have I been putting stuff? I don't know where it is. Barsteliker outdoor gear. So I'm testing the trousers and I'm testing the windproof smock or anorak as they call it. I would call it a smock. It's an over the head thing, which would be the same as here. Which would be the same, you know, the same design as the Ridgeline. So there's no front zip, just a half zip at the front. So so which means that it's for me, I find them more waterproof because there's not as much areas where the water can get in, and they're you know, it's better for the wind and stuff like that. So it is pretty good. It is pretty good, and it's not too bad in the rain either. Even though it's only cotton, it's not not supposed to be a waterproof jacket, but it's not bad. It's actually better than the Garpethan stuff, to tell you the truth. So, which is pretty cool. So, guys, if you have any suggestions or you would like me to test something for you, you know, I do have a couple of test videos coming out, including the British Army 4-piece sleep system. Jeez, I don't even know what else. I can't even remember what else. So, jeez, I don't remember. I have a load of videos coming in. Oh, that's me tired. Got up this morning. I went for a run at 6 o'clock like a lunatic. Guys, like a lunatic. I am going to leave that there. I just have to say thank you very much for tuning in to a Red Branch Bushcraft live feed. We have 7 people watching and 6 thumbs up now. So everybody that's watching, hit those thumbs up right now. Let's blow up the internet. We get 7 and 7. Woohoo! It's close. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. So I'll have to get up in the morning and go to work. So I have 2 groups in tomorrow and 2 groups in Sunday. So, guys, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing to Red Branch and Woolly's World for you guys that double-headed. Run the river. You're very welcome. I'm just literally about to end this stream. Your sense of timing is impeccable, River. Impeccable. Guys, it's great to see you all. It's great to see you all in the chats. And it's great to see you all in the live feed. And remember, I will indeed. We got Bruno a postman's leg today. Have you ever seen a post? They're actually called the postman's leg. And he was like, what's that? It's a bone. It's like that size. It must be a cow shin bone or something. Guys, if there is anything that you want me to do, drop it in the comments. Please comment. Keep commenting on the videos. Keep hitting those thumbs up, guys. Thanks, man. You know, so it's super important. Helps the channel, all that stuff. Blah 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 blah. Okay, you know the story. Thank you very much, guys. See you in the woods. Do you like that? Do you like that one, huh?